Hi and welcome back. It's day 15 and I want to explain to you just a little bit about how I designed this course. When I first started practicing yoga, I would just go to random classes that my teacher was giving, and it was pretty good, and I developed a certain proficiency with doing the poses, but I kind of plateaued with my practice. The reason I plateaued is because I was just attempting kind of nonsense sequencing in that it wasn't designed to help me progress. What really changed my practice was when I met my next teacher, and in addition to those classes, not nonsense, but they were just geared towards different things, and then I wouldn't repeat it, I'd just go on to the next thing. So when I started with that teacher, who was teaching in this similar fashion but with more depth, she also, at the same time, gave me a course to study from that would help to educate the practices I was doing, the classes I was taking. What happened with that course, those courses that she gave me, is that through a regular practice of a sequence, by repeating it, I actually developed more depth in the pose. I came to understand the pose better, my body better, just by going back to this sequence regularly. So the way that I designed this course was that the sequence is meant to be repeated. So now that once you finish today's video, day 15, you're gonna go back and do week 1. I'd recommend, if you're a beginning student, to even practice week 1 a third time instead of just a second time. If you're a more advanced student, just go back on to week 2, or you can even just practice week 2 3 more times. The way these sequences that I practice were given to me is that the sequence would be practiced from 2 to 3 weeks or until mastery of the poses. Some of the sequences that said they were supposed to take 2 to 3 weeks ended up taking me 2 months. It didn't mean that I was bad at yoga or that I was inflexible or anything like that. It just meant that it was an area of opportunity and growth for me that if I stuck with, I can learn something new in my body, I could get a new opening, or I could get stronger in some new way. Sometimes I was so frustrated that I wanted to skip them to tell my teacher there's got to be some other way to do this. But anyways, I learned a lot by just sticking with it. And so I commonly get questions about like, oh, I can't do this pose. And then I'll tell people, well, you should just stick with doing that. And this is a very difficult concept to hear in yoga. So anyways, that's how this is designed. And then once you're done, once you've finished the full 30 days, you've gone back through the first 2 weeks and repeated this video, you'll have done 30 days of yoga. And I invite you now to try the conscious movement course. So after having done 5 or 6 years of these challenges, people kept asking, what do I do next? How do I keep my practice going? So I continued that with a full year-long course in the conscious movement community. It starts with the What's Next course, because people asked what I do next, the What's Next course, and then it goes into the level 2 and level 2-3 course. After that, after you've completed that full year of practice, then there's the arm balance course, the inversion course, the mobility course, the flexibility course, and then I just have weekly videos that I continually update. Now, all of these courses and classes on there are exclusive, and then I also have all the YouTube content on there ad-free. So this is, if you're interested in continuing in your practice, I'm gonna highly recommend that you go to my website or click the link below and join the conscious movement. You can try it for 2 weeks free, start the What's Next course, make sure it's something you wanna continue with before you commit. So there you go. It's also, conscious movement community members are able to support and give back and keep this channel alive. So thank you so much to all you guys. I really appreciate it. So the last thing that I want to explain to you is that through this repetition of the course, you're going to get closer towards mastery and a subtleness in your practice. So just like a skilled athlete only applies as much force as necessary to make it happen, they don't overdo, they try to find flow. By repeating and going through this sequence a second time, you're going to start to be able to feel that in your practice, especially with the tools I give you in today's class. could also think of it like in karate. If you go to a karate class and you say like, oh, I'm already all fit. Do I have to, do these beginner things over? And I don't want to do the white belt class. I just go back to right to the black belt class. I can already kick my leg. That's fine, right? If I can kick, like, no, like the way that you're kicking doesn't have any, there's no intelligence in it. You have to go through all the belts so you can learn to kick so that, so you could think of it like that a little bit too with the yoga practice. So anyway, I feel like you guys understand. You've been doing this with me for a little bit. I feel like you trust my guidance. So just stick with the program. Now, okay, so today's going to be a little bit about developing a subtlety. So I'm going to introduce you guys to the subtle body a little bit. Let's get started in child's pose. So we're going to begin today's practice in child's pose. Arms back, knees close together, let your head drop down. Now, as you're in child's pose, I want you to imagine that there was an energetic orb in your pelvis, a ball of energy in your pelvis. And as you breathe in, you're going to expand your pelvic ball from the inside. Feel the pelvic floor expand. And then as you exhale, visualize it staying open. Now do the same thing in your rib cage, another energetic orb there. For your neck and for your head. Then come up onto your hands and your knees. Round your back. Pause in this position. Breathe into the pelvic orb. Imagine there's one for your lumbar spine, in your belly, in your back, in your rib cage, neck, and top of your head. Then as you inhale, flip the other way into extension. Pause there as you exhale. And then breathe into your orbs again. Expand your balls. Then come to neutral. With your toes curled under, stretch your hips back halfway back to your heels. And as you inhale, reach your right arm up, turn your ribs. As you exhale, slide your arm through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, slide through. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to slide through. This last one will hold. Pause there. Look down at the floor. Turn your chest towards the ground. And then breathe into all the balls again. Notice which ones feel like they're trying to contract. And then slide the shoulder deeper if you need to feel the sensation. Some people might be like, oh, I already got a deep sensation there. You might be able to slide the shoulder and stretch the top arm overhead. So we talked about these areas anatomically, the diaphragms, balancing pelvis, rib cage, shoulders, head, and the correlating diaphragms, pelvic diaphragm, respiratory diaphragm, cervical, roof of the mouth, palate, and cranial diaphragms. Now we're just thinking about them as energetic orbs, if you will. Rebend and come back up and change sides. Inhale to twist open. Exhale to slide through. Inhale to reach open. Exhale through. Inhale, reach open. Exhale, reach through. Turn your chest towards the ground. Breathe into the opening there. So also these energetic orbs, or the diaphragms that I described, there's subtle body corresponding areas of energy or chakras. And if you'd like to even investigate this idea further, I created a whole course based on each chakra. Shameless plug right here for the conscious movement community. Guess where you can find that? Click the link below. All right, enough selling. You got the idea, you're gonna try it. Okay, slide your hand back onto your hands and your knees. Stretch back into your first downward dog. Look forward, step or hop to the top. Bend your knees, drop your head. Let the knees bend enough so you can feel your sacrum, your lower back release and spread. Roll yourself up to stand. Stand tall. Now as you inhale, raise your arms up and pause for a moment to see if you can balance your pelvis back over your ankles. Let the rib cage balance over the pelvis, shoulders, head and neck all align. Spread your arms out to the side and fold forward. Inhale into a flat back. Step back, your left leg, lower your knee down. Inhale, raise your left arm up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, reach a little further. Exhale, bring your left hand down and twist. Take your right arm up. Bring your right hand down and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale into plank pose. Lower down slowly onto your belly, knees down or legs straight if you have the strength to. Then point your toes back, and as you slide your rib cage down and engage your core, lift your hands up 1 inch up off the mat. Slide your arms forward, turn the thumbs up. See if you can keep the rib cage in, the glutes engaged towards the heels, and maybe raise your hands up 1 inch. Then bend the elbows back in the cactus position. Lift the wrist higher away from the floor. Turn on your external rotators. Slide the hands back next to your chest. Press up into plank position. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Raise your left leg up. Bring your knee to your chest. Shift into plank and pull up. Step your foot up by your thumb. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, raise your right arm up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, stretch, deepen, connect from your hip down. Exhale, bring your right hand down and twist. Bring your left hand down and step forward, Uttanasana. Reach through your feet, inhale, come up. Bring your arms down at your side, mountain pose. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha, flat back. Plant your hands, step your right leg back first this time. Inhale, raise your right arm up. Exhale, this time bend your elbow in a cactus, press the hand back. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, bring your hand down to the mat and twist. Left arm up. Lift your back knee up. Keep your left hip in on a track with your left ankle. Now line up your energetic orbs again, the diaphragms or the spinal energy centers. Bring your left hand down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale into plank pose, lower down slow, hands and knees, or just lower with straight legs, depending on how your upper body strength is and your core control. Then lift your hands up an inch. Feel the back body turn on without your ribs dropping down, your pelvis dropping down. Then slide the arms forward, turn the thumbs up. Now tuck your chin, lengthen the back of your neck. Pull your arms back into cactus. Turn on the external rotators. Pull the elbows into your side. Place the hands down and press up into plank. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Press your left big toe mound as you raise your right leg up. Don't let your abdominal orb drop. Line up all the orbs again. Pull your knee to your chest. Now round your back. Step your foot up by your thumb. Drop your back knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbow. Contract in the back of the shoulder, back of the armpit. Inhale, reach up and over. Spread and open up where you just contracted. Bring your left hand down, twist. Lift your back knee. Now make a line from the back arch of your foot through your energetic orbs. Like there were balls lined up, like snowman kind of, and I could send a line straight up through those balls. Bring your right hand down and step back. Downward facing dog. Look forward now, jump or step up to the front. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold. The jumping's not for people with wrist issues, shoulder issues, or lower back issues. Press into your feet, spread your arms, externally rotate and reach up. Arms to your side, Samasthiti. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back, down dog. Inhale, plank pose. Brace your core, engage, and lift your right leg up an inch. Firm your buttocks to your heels. Hold an orange between your chin and your chest and keep your collarbones and shoulder blades broad. Change legs, lift the left leg up an inch. Press the index finger knuckle. Feel the inner arms long as you turn your elbows back. Set that foot down and lower down onto your belly. Knees down or legs straight, your call. Lift hands up an inch, keeping your core engaged. Reach the arms forward, chin tuck as you stretch. Pull into cactus. Keep the little butt tuck, ribs in. Don't be rigid or cut off the flow in any of your energetic orbs. Bring the hands next to your side. Now adding on, reach the arms straight back and lift the hands away from the floor. Hands next to your ribs, press up into plank. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Step your right foot up by your right thumb. Set up your back foot for warrior one. Turn the back toes in towards the front corner of your mat. So the back foot's turned in way more than halfway. Reach down through that back heel, right heel, and as you inhale, come up. Now, if I just stretch my arms up as much as I can, you can see that I disconnect from the lower orbs. So I'm just going to go to a position where I feel like I can integrate the breath into the pelvis. I feel the expansion of the pelvic floor. Even the back arch. Imagine there's a ball in the back arch. So the back foot hasn't shrunk at all. Bring your hands down and step back. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot up. Set up your back foot, angle it in. Inhale to come up. Instead of going for your biggest reach and disconnecting, go to the place where you can find your energetic alignment. Bring your hands back down and step back. Take a vinyasa or just stretch right back into down dog. A vinyasa could mean that you would lower slowly and then come into the back bend and then stretch your way back. from downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale into chair pose. Stand Samasthiti. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Make your way back into the low plank position. Inhale into cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale to reach up. Open up to your side, warrior two. Have your back foot turn in a little bit. Let the thigh rotation come up your thigh and your pelvis angle slightly towards your right knee. Breathe in and out through your nose. Then place your hand onto the inside of your foot on a block or on the floor. Take your left arm up. Then hook your hand behind your back. So you just want to come up high enough to where you can feel the expansion of all those energy centers. Like I mentioned earlier in the challenge, you wouldn't want to be collapsing and blocking off the flow of breath. Similarly, you want to keep the energy flowing in your body. Now, that's not to say that you can't go into positions like this or something and still access the full energy flow, but it requires a lot of opening in the body. So for like that example, open up your arms if you're in the bind and come back up into warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Bring your hands to the mat and step back. Take a vinyasa or just go right back into down dog. If you're working on upper body strength, spinal extension, you keep doing those vinyasas. Then step your left foot up to your left thumb. Set up your back foot. Inhale, come up. 1. Open up to your side. 2. Turn your pelvis slightly towards the left as you let the right leg angle in a bit. Breathe through your nose. Now, as you're here, opening up, as we mentioned, you're going to go back to that tendency to hang. That's why I want you to practice that video. Practice it again and again. In week 1, how we went from Utthita Hasta Padasana, being able to keep this connection. That's not just a one and done type thing. I have to do that every time I practice. So taking that class a couple of times, 3 times, if you've never heard that idea before, will help to embed it in your mind so you make a new body-mind connection. At least I think, I don't know. Put your hand down, take your right arm up, then wrap your arm behind your back. Stay here in the half bind or go for the full bind, it's up to you. I never know where you are. Are you over here or are you over there? I think you're over there right now. I'm not sure. Breathe through your nose. Hang out in the half bind or the full bind, it's up to you. So if you're in the full bind, it just requires a little more strength and flexibility to be able to maintain that opening in those energy channels. And so that's an advanced practice. Like, I don't care if you can jam your body into crazy shapes. If you can't access that feeling, that's not an advanced pose. Open up your arms. Press into your feet and come back to warrior two. Reverse. Back to the 2, straighten your left leg. And we're gonna turn the legs to the right for triangle now. So if you're using blocks, you can do the block shuffle. Shuffle the blocks to the appropriate position. Turn your left leg in and your right leg out. And as you exhale, reach out over the right leg. Now, for just a moment, I want you to bend both of your knees and see if your lower back opens up better. Can you feel that? Now see if you can lengthen and re-straighten, grow the legs without closing off the sacral orb, the one in your pelvis, or the one in your belly and your lower back. Now I know expanding your belly isn't a very popular idea. In fact, most of the videos are designed to shrink your belly. Okay, but this is different. So see if you can expand and open up there. Then bend your knee and step up. Ardha Chandrasana. Still keeping the expansion. Now what happened in the head neck situation? What type of violence are you doing to your own neck right now? Ahimsa people, geez, this is non-violence we're trying to practice. Learn it in the practice. What is all that aggression doing to your psyche? Keep your back inner leg engaged, inner foot reach. Bend your knee and slide back, triangle. Press into your feet and come up. Turn your legs to the other side and reach it out. Now today's video is a little bit longer because I gave that 20-minute speech at the beginning. It's just for that, but I promised I wouldn't have the videos too long, so anywho. Bend the knees, open up your energy centers, and then re-straighten and feel how much better you feel. If, when you straighten, you can't find anymore, work with a little bend. You might work like that for a month or two, or in my case, 6 years. No, it's depending on what you do to your body, you might have to always make modifications. Bend your knee and step up. For example, if you're going on long hikes with ollie, then you might have to adjust for the next couple of days because the hamstrings and hips are too tight. Ollie isn't here, by the way, because we're filming at a new spot, and I don't know if they're down with the ollie so much yet. I'll work them. I got to work them in. Don't worry. I'll ask. Grip the outer hip back on your left hip, and feel if that helps you to open up the lower back. So really, any instruction that I give, whether it's turn this way, push this foot this way, should help with those energetic orbs. So now you can be your own teacher. You have that new idea. Bend your knee and step back. Measure any instruction I give against that. Press down into your feet and come up to stand. Step to the top of your mat. Samasthiti. Inhale into chair pose. Then arms forward, drop it like it's hot. See if you can, that's corny. Okay, I know. See if you can drop your butt. Oh my God, I'm gonna be embarrassed. Can we cut that part out? See if you can drop your butt all the way and take your arms forward. So this is a variation of Malasana, which needs to be developed for an arm balance called Bakasana. If it's difficult to keep the heels grounded, most will have to elevate the heels a bit. That's totally fine. As your dorsiflexion gets better, you'll be able to drop the heels and get into more advanced squatting positions. From here, let me see what kind of internal rotation you got in your arms. Can you hook your hands behind your heels? So this would be a really important progression to master before you try to balance. In this position, my paraspinals are healthy enough to where they can fully round and spread, so I can go to this position, and then I can also feel that my back muscles are spread enough where my shoulder blades can release and spread. If you're super tight, you don't want to build more strength like that. So first you just see if I can relax into this position, step one. If all that's going well and you can deflate your rib cage back, then you might want to see, can I weight this position and strengthen it? And then you just do that. And you lift your feet up and balance. Now it's easier to learn with bent arms like this, but if you go back in the next city, look at that. Look at how crappy that looks on my neck. Don't go back to next city. Please do not make it a jam session. Later, you can come over with your bass. We'll have a jam session. Someone will bring the snare. We'll take care of that. But We don't want to be doing that in the yoga practice. Come to a seat and take boat pose. As much as I'd like to continue all day with you doing these asanas, I feel like it's time to wrap this up. Ardanovasan. See if you can roll up just onto your sacrum. You've already mastered it from week 1 and 2, right? Come back up. No way. Cross your legs, lean into your hands. Now from all that spreading in your back body, lift your butt up. The better you get at this, the better you get at the crow. Navasana. Now, I got one more shameless plug, I'm sorry. It's for the arm balance course. I teach you this all in the arm balance course. After you've finished the conscious movement course, you can learn this more in depth. Or I guess you could work it in during if you're like, really, like, I really want to learn these arm balances. But there's an order to these things for a reason. Come back up. Maybe straight legs. Cross your legs the other way, hands down. Slide your butt back. Spread your shoulder blades. Push down. Lower your butt. Navasana. Ardanovasan. That's too high. That's the spot. Lift your legs, lower your head. Bring your hands behind your head. Now curl your tailbone up so your lower back presses down, buttocks tips up, and crunch up. And hold for 3. Oh, feel the abdominals below your belly button, firing like crazy. 2, 1. Holy smokes, lower back down. You can feel it. Tuck back up. Try to keep your tongue in your mouth. And lower back down. Come into bridge pose. Hold there, or advanced back benders in the class. You can go up onto your hands and your feet. Lower yourself down for final spinal twist. Open the arms to the side. Cross your right ankle over your knee and let your legs fall over to the left. If you prefer that knee over knee twist, you could do that one instead. I think we did that one. Do you know that one already? It's where you cross the knee and then shift the hips over to the side a little bit. Do we do it on day 8, 9? Come back to center. Change the cross. And come back to center. So I want to invite you to spend a few minutes here in Savasana, going through your relaxation, consciously relaxing your body. If you have the few minutes, spend it there. You can pause the video now and hang out in your Savasana. But I want to thank you for taking this challenge with me, for taking a chance, for trusting that I would lead you through this practice. I really appreciate the time and energy that you put into it. And also, I just want to, again, encourage you not to end here, to go through the full 30 days and then continue with the What's Next course and keep going in the practice with me. So thanks so much, and I'll see you again soon after Savasana. Have a good day. And also, if you made it this far in the challenge, write it down below. Let me know. I made it. I can't believe it. Did you really do the 15 days? That's pretty good because not a lot of people do that. All right. I'll see you around and have a great day. Savasana.